ẹ ṣé tẹ́ ń tẹ́tí sí wa ní gbogbo ìgbà. iSyn TV nínú lélẹ́yìí eléyìí tó ní agbára gbáǹkọ́ gbìyànjú náà ni mo pé lórí ìkànnì iSyn TV tẹ́ ẹ bá ṣáà ti rémi ẹ ti mọ̀ wípé ó ti nídìí náà nìyẹn o, torí wípé bí òdíje obìnrin ìjẹ́kúmólú bóbìnrin bá wá jẹ́kúmólú ajẹ́pàkọ́ ni ilé náà ló lọ. ìdí náà sọ pé bí òdíje obìnrin ìjẹ́kúmólú nù tó ṣe bí òwe o. ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá ń wá nǹkan fìdílé kẹfìdílé nǹkan, torí wípé nǹkan tá a tún gbọ́ lónìí gbáǹkọ́gbì náà ni àwọn báńdíìtì wọ́n ti ń ya wọlé Yorùbá, kì í sì ṣe kèrémí. ẹ mọ̀ wípé táìsì ò bá rí iSyn ò ní sọ o, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni táwọn ò bá rí àní wí. wọ́n ti ń ya wọlé o tìkẹ́tìkẹ́. ọ̀tọ̀ lélẹ̀ tá a rí l'Ákúrẹ́, ọ̀tọ̀ tó ní àwọn ilé ìtàn gborí wọlé ńbàdàn tán náà ń bọ̀ wá sílùú Èkó Àkété, Èkó Olú Ọgbọ́n, Èkó Arómisálẹ̀ gbẹlẹ̀gbẹ́. wọ́n náà ti ń ya wọlé sílùú Èkó bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ìyẹn ẹṣẹ́ lé ní, torí wípé ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan kan. Gen.Musa ó sọ ọ̀rọ̀ kòbákùngbé kan sí Gumi ni mo ní ẹ wá gbọ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí dáadáa. ìyẹn léjì ẹ̀kẹta ẹ̀wẹ̀ tẹ́ẹ̀tù gbọ́ lónìí ó ní gbé táwọn náà ti ń pariwo síta tó ń pariwo òun náà ni mo sọ wípé ẹ̀yin èèyàn ẹ súnmọ́ bí o, ẹ̀yin ọlọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀yin olóye tẹ́ ń wò wá nílé, ẹ máa bá ń pín kínní yìí o, ẹ bá ń pín kínní ẹ̀ jẹ́ kó dé gbogbo ibi tó bá yẹ kó dé ní gbogbo orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáńlá ayé. ó ní àwọn náà tí wọ́n ń pariwo káàkiri. ẹ ṣé mò ń rí yín, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ń wọlé. ẹ máa tẹ̀ ẹ́ sójú ẹ̀ ní comment section wípé Ìgbòho is not a criminal o, ká bá wa fi Sunday Ìgbòho sílẹ̀, torí wípé àwọn tí ń dà lúrú gan wọ́n ní free day, wọ́n rìn káàkiri, wọ́n yan káàkiri. ó ní mo ṣe ní ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ gbọ́ ètò eléyìí, torí ètò òtò ní ìtújẹ́ nǹkan tó ní agbára. ẹ tètè wá máa pín, ẹ tètè jẹ́ kó máa dé gbogbo ibi tó bá yẹ kó dé. ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ máa tó kákọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà, ẹ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bí, torí wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ìdí tèmi ṣe máa ń gbé e wá ni wípé ṣé ẹ rí àwọn èèyàn mẹ́sẹ̀jì tẹ́lòmíì máa ń sẹ́ndì sí mi ní comment section àtàwọn tó ní WhatsApp number mi lọ́wọ́. wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀, mo dẹ̀ máa ń ṣàlàyé fún wọn wípé àwa ò ń gbé fake níbí, evidence wà ńlẹ̀. tẹ́ bá sọ pé evidence na wọ̀tá, orí ìkànnì iSyn TV ni, torí wípé gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ lórí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ orí ìkànnì iSyn lẹ́ẹ̀tì gbọ́, torí evidence yẹn wà ńlẹ̀ bíbà. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí èmi àwọn sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àmọ́ ní ẹ níbo lẹ̀ tí ń ráwọn news tẹ́ máa ń gbé àwọn ò parọ́ òun lélẹ́yìí. ẹ kọ́kọ́ wo eléyìí náà, fídíò number 1 lélẹ́yìí kí tó sọ. now evidence ni ẹ o number 1, torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó máa gbére pé ẹ kíní kan àwọn ò ń gbé fake wá ń bí. mo ti sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tí ò bá ti yé, torí ẹ̀ lèmi ṣe máa ń tẹnu mọ́ gbogbo ìgbà tá a bá ti ń ṣètò wípé à ń gbé fake ní rárá, original authentic làwa máa ń gbé wá. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni original authentic ni ní gbogbo ìgbà táwa bá ti ń ṣètò. àwọn báńdíìtì ọ̀nà rí wọn tán kó wọn wọlé tìkẹ́ ọ̀tọ̀ lélẹ̀ tá a rí l'Ákúrẹ́ lọ́jọ́ yẹn tí mo ti gbé fídíò yẹn wá. mi láìkí kí n máa rìpíìtì fídíò rárá, ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ṣe é ṣe táwọn èèyàn bá béèrè fún comment section mo lè tún gbé fídíò yẹn wá again, ṣùgbọ́n mi ní láìkí máa rìpíìtì fídíò. àwọn báńdíìtì wọ́n gbá wọn mú, àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn tiẹ̀ ló mú wọn l'Ákúrẹ́. nígbà tó gbá wọn mú wọ́n ní láti kó gbogbo wọn, wọ́n dá wọn dúró. ṣùgbọ́n ní ìṣe báyìí Ìbàdàn la tún rí tán gbórí lé báyìí. láti Ìbàdàn wọ́n ń bọ̀ wá sọ́nà Èkó, òun là ṣe ń sọ pé wọ́n ti wọlé gbogbo Yorùbá tán. bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń kó wọn wọlé tìkẹ́ ẹ ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń kó wọn wọlé tìkẹ́ nìyẹn o. tán rọ́ wọn wọlé la ṣe ń pariwo. ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń wò gan pé kí lẹ̀ ń pariwo lé lórí gan. sórí ìgbà tán bá capture gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tán òun làwa ṣe ń pariwo tá à ń gbé wá. Musa ó wá sọ nǹkan yẹn, mo ní kẹ́ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ tún gbọ́ fídíò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì tí tó play nù. mo ṣe ní ẹ̀yin èèyàn tẹ́ ń wò wá nílé, ẹ̀yin ní ẹ sọ bó bá ṣe rí gangan, torí wípé nǹkan tí Musa sọ yìí ó ní ó wà nù Gumi gidi ẹ̀jẹ̀ sáré tẹ̀ sójú ẹ̀ kí wọ́n máa rojọ́ jù kó má dàbí pé àìsàn ẹjọ́ rẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù ẹ̀jẹ̀ sáré tẹ̀. Defense Minister Musa warned Sheikh Gumi orders against backing terrorism and banditry. Ẹ lọ wò ó gbogbo ìwé ìròyìn pátápátá ló ti gbé. Defense Minister ó ti wọ́ọ̀nù òní wípé àwọn tó ń sọ̀pọ́ọ̀tì báńdíìtì gbogbo wọn pátápátá ni wọ́n fọwọ́ òfin mú ọwọ́ òfin ni wọ́n fi mú gbogbo wọn because àwọn tó ń fún wọn agbépolájà gan ń solè bí ẹni tó ṣe kíni bí ẹni tó gbà á lẹ̀ àwọn tó ń sọ̀pọ́ọ̀tì wọn gan lọ̀daràn ẹ jẹ́ n tẹ̀ sójú ẹ̀ kẹ́ tó wá gbọ́ kí n tó ka ìwé ìròyìn yẹn síta ẹ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ tẹ fídíò yẹn sí náà kẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan tí Musa.
Why these guys are thriving is because we have some certain individuals that still support them, trying to trade with them. What we say is why these guys are thriving is because we have some certain individuals that still support them, trying to trade with them. I can tell you, how do they maintain themselves having fuel? How do they get food in the bushes? There are people that take these things to them, that give them information about truth movement, that provide this logistics and information to them. If Nigerians decide today, communities that have decided not to support them are free. So that's why it's important for Nigerians to understand that security men cannot be everywhere. So everybody has a responsibility to offer support to the armed forces. Once you see something going wrong, report as quickly as possible.
But that sounds like there is a gap somewhere, that intelligence isn't working. Because if you, as you're saying, that obviously people supply them with things, they get their, provisions from somewhere, and yet you don't seem to be able to get on top of that.
No, like I said, we cannot be everywhere. And then sometimes once these informations come, because of the nature of the terrain, like I told you the other time, we have situations where you have, because of IEDs, if you have information for you to move, 10 kilometers will take you more than 5 hours. Because if you make a mistake and you step on an IED, everybody is dead. So these are the challenges we have. And that's why we say we should look at what are these things that got us to where we are today. Things about justice, fairness, equity, infrastructure development, which is being done now. I think we need to do more, and when we have that, it will also assist, and it will also be able to look at how do they get their recruitment, because when there's poverty, illiteracy, the government is doing so much into doing that, but we need Nigerians to come together to say no to what's going on. And I think that will help us a lot.
And I remember you've made this point before, but it sounds like your assessment is that Nigeria's security challenge is not so much primarily a military problem. It's also become a governance, intelligence, and social crisis that guns alone cannot solve.
That's what I'm saying, because of the survey of the kinetic and the non-kinetic. The kinetic aspect cannot solve all the problems. It will only provide an enabling environment for all the other aspects to take place. And I think that's very critical. We mentioned the issue of our borders. Efforts are being made to, and that's why we are going to extend more with our relationship with Niger, Chad, Cameroon, Benin Republic now, because they're equally beginning to face a similar issue. I think on the general term is for us to understand that what is going on now is a world challenge. It's a challenge that's challenging the entire world. And just like the way ISIS started and the entire world came together to defeat ISIS, look at what's happening in Mozambique. Look at Burkina Faso, look at Mali, look at Nigeria and other countries. So it's something that we all must come together to work against what's going on.
Now, US President Donald Trump threatened to go into Nigeria, guns are blazing. That's become a bit of a cliche now. How seriously does Nigeria's defense establishment take such statements, keeping in mind that in the past, Mr. Trump has seemed to step back from actions and then taken those actions?
Yeah, well, I think somehow no country will just fly into Nigeria and do whatever it feels like doing. No, it won't happen that way.
Right, but does that kind of rhetoric risk undermining Nigeria's sovereignty, or does it reflect a failure of Nigeria to control the narrative around its security crisis? For example, you're a Christian.
Yeah.
You're from the north.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by Muslims to a large extent in the north, and
that target certain individuals. We have the ISWAP, the Boko Haram priority.
Can you understand?
Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí Musa sọ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ẹ ṣé mo rí mẹ́sẹ̀jì yín, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ wípé a ṣe ní ká múra káwa náà ká dira wa ká gbára wa sílẹ̀ ni mò ń sọ yẹn o. Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí Musa gan sọ sí, because terrorism now has become the global trend. But kí ni individual ń ṣe láti gbára wọn sílẹ̀? Ẹ ṣé jàre, wọ́n ní we are not fool. Kí ni individuals ń ṣe láti gbára wọn sílẹ̀? Territories là ń sọ ń sìn. Ẹ wo fídíò àkọ́kọ́ tí mo kọ́ play yẹn pé wọ́n wọlé wá sí Lagos State láti Ìbàdàn, wọ́n ti wọ Lagos State wá báyìí. That is why ta ṣe ní láti múra. Àwọn nọ́ọ̀tì yẹn náà ń pariwo pé àwọn ní resources, kò sí nǹkan táwọn ò ní, gbogbo nǹkan làwọn ní, anybody ò lè ṣe nǹkan kan fáwọn. Ó ní mo ṣe ẹ farabalẹ̀ o, ẹ mọ̀ ìjà mọ̀ deceive ara wa o. Ó ní rísì ta ṣe mọ́ ń gbérò àwọn fídíò ìwá ká fi kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kó lè yé wa ká mọ ibi tó bá kàn ní o. Ẹ farabalẹ̀, ká mọ̀ farabalẹ̀ gbọ́, ká mọ̀ share rẹ̀. Kálukú kí ló dé táwọn èèyàn, kí ló dé tí à ń pretend bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé all is well. It's a global terrorism, abi? It's a global, everywhere is now terrorism. In Burkina Faso, Islamization. In Mali, Islamization. In Kenya, Islamization. In Niger, Islamization. In Nigeria, Islamization. Kí ló dé tí àkúkú àláwọn kí wọ́n dá wà láyé ara wọn? Kí ló dé tá àkúkú jẹ́ kán wà láyé ara wọn? Àwọn fi tẹ́rọ́rìsì wọ́n fi ń wa nǹkan àlùmọ́nì wa, wọ́n fi terrorism wọ́n fi ń kó nǹkan àlùmọ́nì, àwọn ń pín láàrin ara tiwọn. Ṣùgbọ́n ìtẹ́ bá pa lọ́dọ̀ tiwa, àwọn àmọ́ share rẹ̀, àwọn ò kí ń mọtí, àwọn ò mọ ọkọ̀, àwọn ò mú kankan, ṣùgbọ́n gbowó fáàtì kankan tá bá gbà ń bẹ́ àti everything, àwọn ò kò lọ sọ́dọ̀ tiwọn. Who is now deceiving who? Ẹ farabalẹ̀, mo ṣe ní ẹ farabalẹ̀. Tèmi ní pé láti mọ gbé wá fẹ̀yìn èèyàn wa, ẹ mọ gbọ́.
Separation. I said the North is ready for separation. We are ready to go. What do we really need? In fact, if you ask me, I will tell you, looking at the arrangement, the structural arrangement of Northern Nigeria today, if the North is not part of the other countries, if today we separated, the North will be far better than it is today. Because why? What are we talking about? The other regions are talking about power control or control of resources. The major resources we are talking about today is oil. It has been discovered in the Lake Chad Basin. That is first greater in quality than the one we have in the other part of Nigeria. Two, it is greater in quantity. The one we have in the other part of Nigeria will be finishing in 15 years. The one that has just been discovered, if harnessed, will last 75 years. So what do we really need? We have a deposit of gold in Bednongwari that is more than the one we are having in South Africa and in Ghana. We have another deposit of gold in Zamfara. That is why you have the bandit in Zamfara. That is why you have those bandits in Bednongwari. Why are we having the Boko Haram, so much Boko Haram problem? It's because of the oil that has been discovered. It is in the Lake Chad Basin. And that was why you see they will never want to have peace in that area, because once you have, the North is going to develop more than you think. And don't forget, the economic power of Nigeria was Northern Nigeria. We were the economic power, we were the economic heart. That was why every time, even the education that the Southerners and the Easterners had, it was from the resources of the North that they were sponsored to go to school and get the education they are having today. So if today, it is not debatable. It is there. If you don't know, I'm telling you, maybe you don't have knowledge of it.
Let me just, sorry for letting you
let me conclude on this, because I don't want you to interfere with this until I am done with it. So this is that is why we said the North today is ready for separation if it was for separation. Because if we are separated today, I am telling you, we'll grow bigger, we'll grow better, we'll grow stronger, and we'll have better infrastructure development. And in any case, with due respect to other regions, I'm not trying to look down on them, but political administration of Nigeria relies a lot. It is only a northerner that you give leadership that will be fair enough to carry everybody along. So we, like in the past, Sardauna, Zika, and Awolowo said, let's forget our differences when we were discussing with Sardauna. I said, no, let us not forget our differences. Let us discuss our differences, because that is what will guide us towards how best we can lead this nation. This is a northerner for you. So today, if you said the North and people calling for, agitating for separation,
separation, people calling for disintegration, people calling for restructuring. The North is fully prepared. The North is fully ready for either you call it separation or disintegration or whatever, or restructuring. We are strong enough to stand on our feet. And please, mind you.
Ṣẹ́yìn náà ń gbọ́ ẹ gbọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tá ń sọ o. Yorùbá máa ń pa òwe kan, wọ́n ní tán bá ń tàn ọ́ wọ́n tanra rẹ̀. Tán bá ń tàn ọ́ wọ́n tanra rẹ̀ o. Ibi tọ́rọ̀ dé dúró báyìí ó yẹ kí gbogbo wa ti mọ nǹkan tó kàn, kí everybody náà dẹ̀ fẹ́nu kò àwọn àgbààgbà wa láti lè face the right thing. Àkókò ọ̀nlélẹ̀ the right thing. Àwọn ready láti islamize, kò sí nǹkan táwọn ready láti ṣe. Tó wọ́n fẹ́ mọ gba resources, they want to be taking over territories, they want to be moving from one place to another. Àwọn ní agenda. Igbo l'agenda, agenda tàwọn Igbo yẹn ní Biafra. Àwa Yorùbá kí l'agenda tiwa? What is our own agenda? Ẹ já pàdé ní comment section. Ẹ bá like fídíò yìí ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ bá like, ẹ bá share, ẹ bá subscribe sórí ìkànnì yìí. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ tẹ́yin ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń wo fídíò tiwa lélẹ̀, iSyn TV yín náà lélẹ̀ yìí, àwọn òkè ń parọ́ ń bí o, original ni, authentic sí ni. Ẹ bá like fídíò yìí, ẹ bá share ẹ jọ̀ọ́, mo bẹ̀ wá ní, mo rawọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí wa. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti subscribe, ẹ subscribe, ẹ bá like ẹ bá share, ẹ bá subscribe sórí ìkànnì yìí. iSyn TV yín náà lélẹ̀ yìí, ẹ ṣé o, ẹ já pàdé ní comment section.